If you haven't already seen my wedding looks floating around on social media, I got married in October of 2023 and I'm finally getting around to posting some wedding content. Last year was so crazy and you guys have been loving the looks on every platform I've shared anything on. So as requested, I thought I would share exactly how I achieved my effortless, clean, soft glam South Asian ceremony look. So I'm gonna try and replicate the look exactly the way I did it on my ceremony morning. I did this in 30 minutes at 4 a.m. after not sleeping all night and honestly barely slept the whole wedding week. So I can assure you this is fairly approachable and easy if you are a bride-to-be looking to do this look yourself or even just want to get it done by a professional. You may need to tweak some products depending on your complexion, your preferences, but I'm just doing this look exactly or as close to exactly as I did it on my wedding day. So I don't have anything on my face right now. I did use the Advanced Genifique eye cream by Lancome with some eye masks for a couple hours before I put my makeup on that day. I was doing a ton of last minute tasks and I was on my laptop and I just did not want to have really dark circles and skin that looked exhausted, so that definitely pepped me up. I went in with the MAC Studio Radiance Moisturizing and Illuminating Silky Primer. I typically have dry and sensitive skin, but I just found that this was the perfect product to give my skin the moisture that it needed without it looking oily, especially because I wanted to make sure whatever I was putting on my face would be camera friendly, photo friendly, and still keep me looking alive. Can I just say this smells so good. So here's what the base looks like. And then to add some extra glow, I did get questions on this. I used the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I personally love to use setting spray at the, should I close my mouth for that one? I like to use setting spray at the start of makeup, especially when I'm doing any heavier glam or bridal clients. It just makes sure that everything you're gonna layer on top of your skincare and your skin prep is going to stay put. We are gonna continue with some Charlotte Tilbury and go in with the Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is in the shade 4.5 medium. I did not want anything really heavy for my complexion or honestly like my makeup. I'm just not someone who likes really heavy glam. I love the way it looks on other people, but I personally just don't find that it suits me and my features and just the way I like to feel and look in makeup. Being in the wedding industry for the last 10 years, I've been on the planning side and the makeup and hair side, and just working with so many brides and executing so many wedding days and honestly getting brides ready for their big days as well. It just made me more and more comfortable with the idea that I was gonna do that for myself, mainly because I know exactly what I like, and in the case that I didn't like something, I would be the only one to blame. Having so much experience with different types of weddings and timelines and brides and looks, it all just made it really easy to have a better gauge on what I needed to do for my own wedding prep to ensure that I was ahead of schedule and also to ensure that I would still get to experience everything as a bride, but also as someone who's very comfortable as a vendor. This was about all the base coverage I wanted. Obviously, I'm gonna go in with some concealer, but I didn't want to layer on anything too heavy. Personally, for myself, I like when my skin can still show through, and it just really adds to that natural glam look. Now I'm going in with the Essence Prime Like a Boss eyeshadow base. This is intensifying, long-lasting, and no creasing. It's a universal shade. I just applied this on my eyelids. So for my wedding week, I did use the Precisely My Brow by Benefit. I've since finished that, and I'm using the Gimme Brow instead. It does the same kind of thing. It's just more of a standard pencil versus mechanical pencil, and I personally like this. You can sharpen it as needed. It's got a spoolie on the other end. Does the same thing, you know? I personally find having your eyebrows done ahead of eyeshadow just allows you to tweak the look to be a little bit more dramatic if needed or to be softer. Eyebrows make such a difference. Now I'm just using the residual concealer. I didn't want a really strong carved out brow. I just wanted something that looked natural, feathery. I was really going for like my features but better for my wedding day, so I wanted to make sure everything looked natural but nice and clean. And now I'm using the Clear Brow Gel by Merit. This is not an extreme hold brow gel or anything. It just helps set things in place, and it doesn't have any pigment in it, so it just keeps things nicely locked in without making anything too dramatic. And that's the brows. Then I used the Pat McGrath Labs mini eyeshadow palette in Sublime Smoke. I really loved this. I honestly used this for my entire wedding week. This has all the shades that you'd need for those classic bridal eye looks, and it was just super compact, super easy to throw in my bag and take if I needed any touch-ups or as I was doing my makeup on the go, which is exactly what I did for my reception makeup. I literally did that on the way to my reception in 20 minutes, and if you've seen it online, it turned out pretty good if I may say so myself. So I'm just going in with a fluffy blending brush and I'm using this middle shade up here. It's like a mid-tone warm brown. Just placing and loosely buffing that into the crease. When it came to my wedding and just how I was gonna execute it and what kind of looks I wanted to do, I honestly was not someone that had planned my wedding or had all these ideas brewing for years. Being in the industry for so long definitely helped gauge what I needed to do and what kind of timelines I needed to work with. To be completely honest, most of my thinking started after we got engaged, and in full transparency, the proper planning really only began like 3 months before. So when it came to my own wedding looks, I just figured if I've gotten so many brides and just different clients ready for their big events over the years, and I know my face, I know my features, I know what I like to look and feel like with makeup on, especially when it's like glam event makeup. I've been doing that for myself for years, so why not do it for one of the biggest days of my life? And I really wanted to prioritize looking like myself, but just a little more glam, and also in a way that really coincided with the vision that I had going for my whole look. And when it came to the whole experience, I didn't want anything to fall short of what I would offer to my brides and clients, mainly because I wanted to ensure I would look back on my wedding day and still feel like I had the full bridal experience. But it was definitely a process switching from the wedding vendor mindset to the bride mindset. Just with my fingers, I'm applying this bronzy gold shade all over my lid and blending it up to just a little below the crease. Ahead of my wedding, I went on a makeup shopping spree where I picked up a bunch of products I was really excited about, things that I had seen online for a while, and things that I'd just really been wanting to try but kind of held off on, to make sure I got to just enjoy the whole makeup and glam experience. And I wanted to make sure anytime I was going to be engaging in the act of getting myself ready for my wedding week, I'd really just get to immerse myself in my craft and my happy place and tune out any stress that might have come up and just really be present and soak in the moment. Now I'm going in with the Dior Backstage Flash Perfector Concealer in 3N. So I just apply it in the inner corner here. I like to let this just marinate here for a second just to get a little thicker and have better coverage. And it also helps the product stay put and not crease as much. So if you are a bride-to-be who's looking to do your own makeup yourself or just get something done that's really quick and simple but looks really, really nice and elegant, this is a great look. And if you're curious and want to glam with me, I do take makeup clients locally and internationally. I'm based in Toronto, and I also offer in-person and virtual one-on-one lessons. These are perfect if you have a specific look in mind that you really want to execute, whether it's one of your own bridal looks or you're going to a destination wedding and you want that like really nicely done makeup look without having to worry about hiring on a makeup artist. This is a great way to learn those skills, whether it's really getting to understand your undertones or your face shape and what kind of makeup looks and placement work best for that. This is all stuff that I touch on in my one-on-ones. It's like a consultation as well as talk-throughs and walkthroughs. I'll go through looks with you as well as products that I might recommend for you or just ways that you can use what you already have in your collection. So if you are interested in any of the things that I just mentioned, you can check out the description. I have more booking details down there. Now I'm going in with my personal favorite setting powder, which is the Maybelline Fit Me. This is the matte and poreless in the shade 220 Natural Beige, and I'm just using a powder puff for this. And I really only went in under my eyes to set. This gives you such a nice airbrushed look. You can totally set the rest of your face if you want. I personally found that because I didn't go in with too much skin prep and everything I was using on my face wasn't super glowy and dewy, I didn't really have too much sheen. And I wanted to make sure that because I have dry, sensitive skin, I wasn't sucking all the life out of it. This is a blush that I used for my wedding day and reception. I had not used this until my wedding, and I had been sitting on it for so long. I had this in my collection for a very long time before my wedding week. And I don't know why, I just couldn't bring myself to use it. Finally, as the days were winding down, I just knew I had to try it, and I'm so glad I saved it for this. Such a gorgeous, naturally flushed, blushy look. And it lasted all day. I didn't need to add any highlighter, which again would maybe potentially add to that sweaty, oily look. This was just the perfect, healthy glow, and I loved it. So anyway, back to keeping the experience special. I wanted to make sure I reserved some time to give myself a proper bridal trial. Like, how pretty. So you can always go in with more or less if you prefer. Now I'm going in with the Merit Complexion Stick in Sepia. And I use this as contour. Back to making sure the experience still felt special. I wanted to make sure I gave myself the opportunity to do a proper wedding look trial. I had a couple different looks in mind. I wanted to do something that was a little bit more traditional South Asian bridal. I had more of a clean look in mind. And then I had a couple looks from previous shoots that I had done that I just wanted to make more me. I saved all the products that I picked up from my little shopping spree and designated one evening at the start of our wedding month. Actually, we had gone on a little staycation to kick off our wedding month, and I figured it was the perfect special and sentimental date night to do a trial and see how I liked the makeup on myself, see how I liked the feel of it, and also see how it looked in pictures. I'm so glad I did that because there were definitely things that I figured out I wanted to change, or products that I figured would probably work better, but for the most part, it was just a great way to, again, indulge in my craft and really get to embrace the bridal experience, especially as someone with a unique experience with weddings. I would definitely recommend doing a trial, especially if you're doing your makeup for all your wedding week looks. Try and trial all of them. I really only did my ceremony look. My reception look was something I had an idea of in my mind. I knew what I was gonna do. I just hadn't tried all the products together and actually executed the look, so it was definitely a wild card, and I'm so glad it turned out the way that it did. But this is exactly why it's really important to either be really comfortable with applying makeup on yourself if you are going to be doing something like this for an event, or be super comfortable with the work and craft of the makeup artists and hairstylists that you choose to have be a part of your day, because ultimately the work that they do or the work that you do on yourself is going to be reflected outwardly, and it will make an impact on how you feel, how you present yourself in photos. So you really want to be super sure of the look that you're going for so that you feel your best, you look your best, of course. So that is the base with all the cream product. Now I'm going in to set that contour and add a little bit of warmth back to the face with the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Perfector. This one is so good. I tried this one for the first time as well when it came to my wedding looks, and I totally got the Makeup by Mario hype. I absolutely love the way it just has such finely milled powder, so it blends so seamlessly. It sets creams really nicely without taking the pigment away and kind of making things look muddy. Now I'm gonna go in with the mid-tone brown that I used in my crease. I'm just gonna apply that underneath my eyes just to add, again, a little bit of warmth and have a tiny bit of shadow there without adding too much darkness. I am gonna go in with some black liner in a second, so I just want something to kind of tie the whole look together and bring down what I have on my crease on the lower lid as well. It was a really, really special experience to finally embrace being a bride, and I'm so glad I did that ahead of my wedding as opposed to looking back on it and wishing I did things differently, because being a type A personality, being someone who's super anal retentive, being someone who is extremely used to the industry from an alternate perspective, is definitely a bit of a challenge to enjoy and appreciate the experience, especially at the start. But as we started counting down to the big day, I just really wanted to treasure the fact that there was so much time, energy, money, and just genuine love and good intention going into all of these events. Not just from my end, but my husband or fiance's end at the time. He was so supportive and just really down to help with as much as he could, even though he didn't know exactly what to do at times. Our parents and our loved ones were so supportive and just really excited along the way. Pre-wedding, I felt like I wanted to take on so many of the things and just do it myself. And if you're anything like me, it is really beautiful to be able to do that for your wedding, but also remember that you can't do everything. You're gonna be a little bit busy getting married, so know when and where to pass tasks off, know when and where it's important to be okay to go with the flow, and really embrace the fact that no one really knows the exact plan like you do. At the end of the day, this is your special day, and not that this day is not special to everyone else sharing it with you, but this is one special day for them, but this is your day. So everything that you want and everything that you imagine and envision happening is entirely in your brain, and if something doesn't go to plan, no one will really know, and it really just comes down to how you deal with what comes your way. So try to enjoy the moment, be as present as you can, and embrace everything as it comes, because this moment will not come back. You won't get this exact experience again, and you just want to make sure that all the time and energy that you've invested into planning this miraculous, magical day is the perfect combination of moments that you will be happy with. So I just went in with the Essence Stay and Play Gel Liner. This is a waterproof and long-lasting liner in the shade Black Raven. Now I'm going in with the They're Real Extreme Precision Liner by Benefit. This is in the shade Extra Black, and it's kind of like a marker, which I really like. I find that it makes it a lot easier to get a nice, sharp, crisp line. I used to wear liquid liner a lot earlier on, but nowadays I'm more of like a soft shadow liner at most, if not just a mascara girly, but you cannot not have liquid liner, especially for a South Asian bridal look. At least I can Okay, they're looking related. I'm actually just gonna go in with this lightest shade in the palette and just apply it very, very slightly in the inner corner just to add a little bit of brightness. So now we're gonna just prep the lashes for some false lashes. I'm not going in with anything too crazy. You just want something that will make it easy to blend your false lashes with your real ones. Right now I'm using the Essence Lash Princess with the false lash effect. This is so good. I'm not a mascara on the lower lashes girly, mainly because I find that it transfers quite a lot. And these are the House of Lashes x Sephora Marigold lashes. They're full volume lashes and they're really, really pretty. So I wanted to make sure I was doing the dramatic eyes and darker lip, but still something that was approachable and felt like me. And I was going for the full South Indian bridal look with the jasmines in my hair and the Kanjivaram sari. So I wanted a look that would really complement that, especially in a world where there is a product or tool or something that you can buy for literally every and anything. I think it's important to go back to the basics sometimes and realize that some of the best tools that we have are already within or on us. So these are the lashes on. I feel like they're so, so beautiful. They're not too thick and they still have a nice wispiness to them, but they're nice and dramatic. The eyeshadow itself is not actually that dark or dramatic. It's really just all brought together with the liner and lashes. So I just love how everything is pulled together with this step. Now for the lips, I got so many questions about my lip combo and just like what I had on my lips. So I used the Morphe Soul Matte lip liner. This is a gel lip liner and this is in the shade Whipped. Beautiful shade. I loved this for my entire wedding week. This is the only lip liner I used. And I just felt like it worked with every lip color I was using. Then I went in with this MAC shade called Business Casual. This is a luster glass lipstick. I really love the feel of it and I love the overall shade, but I just found that it was a little bit too bright for me. Generally reach for more nudie tones, so I added Velvet Teddy over top. I don't have Velvet Teddy on me right now, but this is thanks it's MAC. This is also a luster glass. What I used on my wedding day was a little bit more of a satin, so it wasn't as glossy, but of course, as you eat and it settles in, the gloss factor will die down a little bit. If you are looking for a single lipstick as opposed to like a combination that I did, there are a couple by MAC that are really good contenders as well. This is also a luster glass. This is the shade Sellout. It's a very pretty shade. It looks quite similar to what I have on my lips, just a little less like brick red. So it's more of a peachy nude. And then if you want something more matte, this is the Maximal Matte Lipstick in Cafe Mocha. Super, super pretty shade. This is honestly very close to what I have on my lips. I'm just gonna apply that too to mattify it a little bit. Yeah, gorgeous. Oh my God, this is so exciting. I have not seen myself like this since my wedding day, obviously, but it is just such a surreal experience, one, doing your own makeup and then getting to see it again and getting to do it all again. It's just so special. I'm so glad I did everything from the trial to the actual glam to this recreation, but this is not the full deal. Obviously, we need to set everything in place. So this is the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray by Charlotte Tilbury once again. Let me put my bridal jewelry on. I don't actually have my bridal sari here, but I'm gonna do things as close to the actual look that I can to help paint the picture of what the full look would be like. Okay, so this is obviously not my wedding sari. I don't even think I was wearing a bindi that day actually. And I had a stud in instead of a nose ring. And I had a much bigger bun with real jasmine flowers. But all that aside, this is the recreation of my ceremony look. I love how it turned out. Thank you for hanging out today and allowing me to recreate this lovely look for you. It brought back all of the bridal feels and I hope it does the same for you if you decide to go with this look for your big day. Let me know in the comments if you have anything else that you'd like to see in the near future, and until the next one, take care and see you soon.